এখানে কিন্তু রুয়েলকে আমরা ইনক্লুশন করতেই পারি বিকজ অফ সে একটা ভালো জায়গায় বোলিং করে, লাইন লেন্থ খুব কোচের ওই টিমের মধ্যে নেয়। হ্যাঁ, ইয়েস, টস ইজ এ ভেরি ভাইটাল। টস যদি আমি বলি, এই উইকেটে কিন্তু আমরা কালকে দেখেছি 238 রান।
এক্স্যাক্টলি।
সো খুলনার পার্সপেক্টিভে তারা কিন্তু ফিল্ডিংটা নিয়েছে বিকজ অফ তারা কিন্তু চেস করতে পছন্দ করে এবং চেস করেই তারা জিতেছে সবগুলো। ওয়েল, আমরা আরো কথা বলবো এবং এই টিম কম্বিনেশন নিয়েও কথা বলবো, যেহেতু 5টি চেঞ্জ রয়েছে সিলেট থান্ডার্সের, তারা আসলে কি করতে যাচ্ছে সবকিছু নিয়েই কথা হবে একটা ব্রেকের পরে। দর্শক, আপনারা দেখছিলেন গ্রামীণ ফোন প্রেজেন্টস ক্রিকেট ম্যানিয়া। নিচ্ছে একটা বিরতি, ফিরে আসবো একটু পরেই। সাথে ছিলেন, আশা করবো সাথেই থাকবেন।
অবাক করা মুহূর্তগুলোর জন্যই সবখানে ফাস্টেস্ট 4G নিয়ে আছে আপনার সাথে গ্রামীণ ফোন।
ভিটামিন সি সমৃদ্ধ মেরিল পেট্রোলিয়াম জেলি ত্বককে দেয় সম্পূর্ণ সুরক্ষা।
প্রতিদিন অ্যাভারেজ 15 মিনিট কথা, 250 MB ইন্টারনেট আর 5টা SMS। তাহলে উইকে
155 টাকা 36 পয়সা, 65% সেভিংস। মাইজিপি অ্যাপে ফ্লেক্সি
And welcome wherever you're watching around Australia, around the world. The Thunder come out onto the ground. Usman Khawaja fresh off runs alongside Alex Hales, who was also very good in their last game. And joining us running out in the middle is Alex Hales. Good evening, Alex. Mark Howard, welcome to Fox Cricket.
Hi, how are you doing?
Yeah, very well. We'll just let you hand over your cap presentation. But
I haven't got one.
Oh, you better go back and get one.
What a great start.
Lost your cap, mate. So Alex will go back and retrieve a cap.
That's just what you need when it's 40 degrees. Have a good night.
And Alex, how are you finding your time in Thunder colours so far? Obviously, it's been successful, but led by Cal Ferguson. You've got Bondi there, pretty tight unit.
Yeah, it's a really tight unit. It's been really easy to settle down. Good bunch of lads, very friendly. So yeah, so far so good.
And enjoyed opening up with Usman?
Yeah, brilliant. What a player he is. He's got off to 2 great starts. Really taking the heat off me as well to get going, so he's been brilliant to bat with.
All right, we'll speak to you throughout the night. We appreciate you joining us on Fox Cricket, Alex.
Cheers, thank you.
Nice to speak to Alex Hales. Now he's got the hat sorted out and we're ready to go. And he's going to see one of his countrymen in action for the first time in the Big Bash. Phil Salt, coached by Jason Gillespie at Sussex. He's got some nice in the sheds. We'll save that till the next game.
Have a rest, Each. Have a spell. Have a drink.
So Short comes out in the middle.
Well, it wasn't much of an innings, was it? A caught behind shout. Then top edge one straight up. Matt Short comes in at number 3 for the Strikers. Hasn't done a lot of batting. 18 matches, 245 runs. That average is a bit on the low side, so is the strike rate. But promising batting all round of bowls. He's off spin as well. Big tall boy.
Saw him make runs for Victoria against New South Wales at the MCG in the Marsh Cup. He got an 88 that day. We'll need runs from him today. So they did cross, so it's Weatherald on strike. And a slip goes in now as well. What a start from Daniel Sams.
Brilliant. He's been outstanding so far for the Thunder. Picks up big wickets, gets that ball shaping early on. On the just back of bowls a hard length and a brilliant over to start up for Daniel Sams and for the Sydney Thunder. 1 for no loss.
First maiden of the tournament. Just having a chat with Blocker Wilson there about his
first maiden of the tournament.
First maiden, and it included a wicket. Let's have a look at it, Emwar.
So it basically makes it a 19 over innings for the Strikers. There's the wicket, a short ball. Salt couldn't control it, and Arjun there, he never really looked that comfortable on it. He had the Watusi out there. His feet were going everywhere. But in the end, the Watusi, it's a dance move.
I'm not sure anyone's taking dance moves from you.
But in the end, he held on it. That's all that counts. He looked nervous, but he got his hands in the right position to take a really good catch.
Cook coming into the attack. Actually, he's had a nice start to the tournament.
Yeah, doesn't mind bowling in the power play. Generally very economical. Went for a few runs in that last game. Kerry O'Keefe's a big fan.
Well, he bowls leg spin.
He's a big fan of anyone that bowls leg spin.
Leg spinner that doesn't really turn it. That's why he's a big fan.
Oh, Isha! He'll be watching the fierce turning leg spinner Kay O'Keefe.
Yeah.
And first runs for the Strikers, and it takes to the 7th delivery, and they've already lost a wicket.
No, but he's been an important feature of this Sydney Thunder side. Just from the last couple of games, they've looked like they've had all their plans in place. If the opposition get off to a quick start, they can pull things back. They're 3 spinners, and tactically they pretty much have been on top.
He doesn't give it much air. John O'Cook bowls pretty flat into the pitch, doesn't turn it at all. He'll probably go away from the left-hander and into the right-hander, which is, I think Skull did at least straight in the odd ball.
I've been told as well that it's Jonathan,
not
Cook.
What do we call him?
Well, we have been calling him Jono, but fixture systems, it's Jonathan.
Okay, all right, we'll take note of that. I'll put that
Gilks,
down.
not Gilks. And then Nair, and you were talking about him,
well,
that with Arjun, as we have a look at the wicket and the dimensions of the pitch. And there's a good look at the dimensions, because Short goes whack.
Yeah, that's a long hit, not a short one. Good shot. Yeah, he's just trusting that the ball's going to slide in and hit with the spin. You know, he's a leg spinner, hit over the leg side. And it's not the biggest boundary out there, but nicely struck.
Isha, it's a bit early for dad jokes in the power play. I'm not sure you
thought
can
I'd take over from Skull, is that right?
Short and long stuff. That's close. That's really close. It's out. The Thunder have got the Strikers 2 for in just the second over.
Brilliant bowling from John O'Cook. Just pitches it up slightly further. And maybe even a little bit quicker as well. Just skids on, and that is another big wicket, especially after you've had someone pummel you to the boundary. 2 for 8 then at the moment.
Yeah, poor shot. He bowls full and straight. You don't sweep, you hit down the ground. That is absolutely plumb. Would have hit middle stump halfway up, probably hit him just on off stump. Cannoning the middle stump would have been better off playing the same shot he played the ball before. That's premeditated, and he pays a heavy price. Matt Short, 2 for 8 Strikers.
Alex Hales is out in the
because he's a dangerous player, so yeah, great start.
Yeah, and the spinners, Alex doing the job again. Cookie out there bowling nice and tight and straight.
Yeah, they've been really good for us. The last couple of games, the Oppo have got off to a great start, and then we've pegged them back well with the spin. So it's great to see us getting off to a good start in the power play this time. Hopefully we can keep up in the middle.
Thank you, Alex.
Cheers.
Talking about Alex, the star of the World Cup for Australia, Alex Carey comes to the middle and immediately times his first delivery.
Very good player of spin, Alex Carey. Surprised to see him come in so late, but important knock required for him in their first game of the tournament. I guess that's the big difference between the two sides. Thunder with 2 wins on the board already, feeling good.
Here's the first time he's batted at 4 in a Big Bash game, Isha, so I appreciate what you're saying, but he did come in the 11th delivery. 2 overs done, 2 for 9. Let's have a look at both wickets with Ishigua.
Yeah, first to go, Phil Salt. Sam's banging it into the pitch. Hung in the air for a while there, but a good catch in the end for Noah. And then Jonathan Cook with the ball slightly fuller, going on to hit the stumps. And short, doesn't last very long out in the middle. Entertained for a little while there, but clearly shows it was going on to hit.
So shot selection poor, both dismissals for the strikers. Matt Short, that was premeditated, and he is not the bowler to sweep. Jonathan Cook, you're better off driving him, but good bowling nonetheless with the new ball by the Thunder.
Carey now facing Sams. He's got a man out on the deep point fence, and it's square leg.
I'm surprised Carey come in behind Matt Short. You know, I think Alex Carey's his record opening would be particularly good for the strikers. I guess Salt, he's your opener, so is Weatherall, but I would have expected him to come in at 3. Well, it doesn't matter, he's in against a new ball now, so he's probably going to be the backbone of this strikers' innings. I think they can bat around him.
Works his way into the game. Mark, you've seen so much of Alex at the top of the order for the strikers for the last few years. And he came into the competition and he made a few scores, but he struggled with consistency a little bit. But his last year at the crease with the bat, including the World Cup, was quite remarkable. Is he doing anything different, or is he just more comfortable in the game?
Yeah, I think it's just a confidence thing. How he was amazing in the World Cup.
Oh.
He actually, I know David Warner scored a lot of runs, but he was the most impressive of all our batsmen. He came in pressure situations and hit the ball so cleanly and did it easily.
Weatherall does beat the man inside the circle and brings up the first boundary. Much needed for the Adelaide strikers.
Yeah, a bit of a misfield there from Arjun there. I think it just sort of checked to the right of him when it bounced just before him, so it was an awkward bounce. Daniel Sams has had success with the short one already. Tried it again. This time it wasn't as high to Jake Weatherall. And once it beats the man, it's 4 yet. Just a slight misfield. But no, I thought his ball striking was superb in the World Cup. Had a good technique, simple technique. Doesn't rely on the sweep as much as he used to. He used to rely on the sweep all the time.
Oh, a slow one. Almost a knuckleball.
Yeah, not afraid to bowl the slower one. Daniel Sams drops it right down to 105 kilometres an hour. Happy to vary it up. A couple of balls before, I think it was at 120 kilometres an hour. Not getting loads of movement now. Lights are on here, so he's just looking to bowl back of a length and then the odd slower ball. The odd short one as well.
Yeah, I think he's better with the new ball, Daniel Sams. I don't think you can bowl him at the back end of a game.
Why?
Because he goes for a lot of runs, quite simply.
Gee, that is quite simple.
Yeah, I think he's just a better bowler at the start and in the middle. I don't think he's suited to bowling in the end. Whether the pressure gets to him a little bit, I'm not sure, but I like him with the new ball. And the other thing is, batsmen are getting used to him, so he's got to keep, finding new tricks, and I think he's doing that. We know he can swing the ball. He's got a good slower ball, and now the bouncer, so he's got to keep evolving as a bowler.
Weatherall just turns his leg, end of the over. 6 from it. 2 for 15. Isha, you were just pointing at the speed gun. That second last ball from Daniel Sam was registered at what?
155.
Gee, Jeff Thompson must have bowled 215. if that was 155.
Actually, I've been noticing the speeds have been right up in all the games, actually.
I was talking about this to a former England captain who had a lot of success in an Ashes.
Oh. I don't know if you want to reveal this.
Well,
Who's that? Michael Vaughan?
I'm not saying who it was, but there was a discussion that there's the ability to change the speed of the speed camera to affect the confidence of visiting bowlers. I'll say no more, Mark.
Affect the confidence of...
Well, if they're steaming in bowling at 145
So they turn it down, do
and
they?
the speed gun says 135, they're like, oh, why am I bowling slowly?
And they might stretch and might even get injured, yeah. It's...
Anyway, it could just be an urban myth, that one, Ish. Green to Weatherald.
But what about in the Big Bash?
Oh, no, Big Bash, well, I think they might just had a miscalculation there. What are you chuckling about over there, Isha G?
Nothing. I just wish they'd ramped it up for when I bowled.
They did. They're a 70. Got it up to 100.
Green to Weatherall, gives himself room and cuts nicely with his second boundary. He's the third leading run scorer for the Strikers in their history, Weatherall, and he's a tasty player.
And this is where he's really strong, ready to pounce on the length, happy to just get back and carve that away to the offside. One of 4 that scored over 300 runs last season. Disappointing season for the Strikers. They'll be wanting a lot more from their top order, but so quick onto length.
And again, that's powerfully pushed off the back foot from Weatherall, just timing. The Strikers finally starting to get a bit of a move on.
Well, that's a super shot, because that was not a bad ball at all. It was probably in middle stump, I think, and Jake Weatherall just shimmied to the leg side, and he knows there's no one out patrolling the boundary on the offside, but it's a very, very good shot.
Tough start for Green, who's normally so economical. He's gone for a couple of boundaries early. He's now gone for 3 in a row.
You don't see this too often, do you? Chris Green getting some tap early on. And I guess it was a gamble by Callum Ferguson. Jonathan Cook bowled a good first over. And then he's brought on Cameron Green. If I call him Cameron again, I'm going to do something to myself. I don't know what. But Chris Green.
He's the chap out of WA.
Yeah. I might call him Greenie from now on.
Well, a slight field change. I wondered if he might send someone back, because as he was looking to do anything out on the off stump, he's looking to get deep and carve it away through that offside. But just a mid-wicket slightly straighter. He goes again, and actually Weatherall will feel like he's missed out on that one.
Lucky. That was the widest one he's bowled.
Yeah.
The 3-card trick. He mightn't have been expecting it there and tried to hit it too hard.
Weatherall 18 from 11 just to get things going for the Strikers.
That's where he wants to bowl for this field. He needs to bowl a lot straighter, even on leg stump, for him to take that single at the end of the over. 13 runs coming from that, 2 for 28.
Three 4s in a row for Weatherall. 13 from the over. So this little partnership developing nicely, 20 from 14.
That certainly wasn't a bad over from Chris Green. I think that was really good batting from Jake Weatherall, giving himself room. Chris Morris, 32 years of age, 194 matches, so very experienced at T20 level. And he will probably get a bit of bounce out of this track. He's a big, tall lad.
Wonderful to speak to him in the warm-up as he was going through his fielding. Just signed a $2 million deal in the IPL, Isha.
Yep, which he wasn't expecting.
Well,
Generally goes for quite a lot of money. I think he went for $1.5 million US a few years back in the IPL. But someone who brings both to the table. He's good with the ball, he can bowl at the death, and he can smash it with the bat.
Well, I guess he'd want to bring something to the table for $2 million. Want a bit of value for your money, wouldn't you?
Yep.
Tough place to play, though, Bangalore, as a bowler.
Isha, when all these numbers have been floating around about the IPL, I think of my man Mark Waugh. What do you think in his heyday? Battered like
Take
a
you long,
god.
did it? Ask this.
He could bowl 140 when he needed to, then bowled spin and was the best fielder going around. If Chris Morris is 2 million, what's Mark Waugh going for? Come on.
Oh, no.
Come on. Give me a number. What's he going for?
What do you think you should be
Irrelevant.
going for?
No, I want your number first.
If at 54 years of age.
No, in your heyday. Pause and have a think about that.
Self-praise is no praise, Howie.
Well,
so.
I didn't ask you. I asked Isha. Carey facing Morris. Can't score. Come on, Isha. I need a number. You got to remember this man brought all skills to the
doesn't really
table.
matter.
He did. He did. I'm going over a mil.
Kidding. That's for the first week of the tournament.
You think you're shortchanged?
Twinkle toes down the pitch, playing against spin.
That's short-changed me, Ish.
Good fielder.
I think if Glenn Maxwell's 2.2,
Good
Trundler.
fielder.
I think Mark's at least 2.2. He does it all.
Thanks, Howie.
Gee,
It's irrelevant anyway.
He's just giving you just a
He's
mil.
giving me donuts. That was for the first week.
I was talking pounds, million
Okay.
pounds.
It's amazing money, though, isn't it, that we've seen. We were on air the other night down in Geelong when the numbers were breaking, and when we heard that Pat Cummins had gone for $3.1 million plus, and they're professional athletes, they deserve absolutely every cent, but it's extraordinary the numbers that were thrown around. Each I know some of the English guys got enormous amounts of money as well. Good luck to them all, though.
I don't think they deserve every cent of it, but yeah, good luck to them.
You're just jealous. That's your problem. Morris to Carey. Hustle through for a single. And that's a nice bit of work by Green. Talking about the IPL, he's picked up for the first time the IPL to Chris Green, so congratulations to him as well. A hard-working cricketer, that man right there.
Yeah, good bit of fielding too. Good running between wickets. Let's not talk about the money anymore.
He's gone to KKR.
Oh, straight away you talk about it. Good on you.
Easily home. Oh, we spoke to Chris about it in the warm-up, didn't we? Chris Morris said it was the first time he'd had the opportunity to watch the option live, and he was just sitting there with $2 million going into his bank account. Carey, end of the over. 2 for 31, just 3 from it.
Yeah, looking at the pitch map for Chris Green, and pretty much 3 of those deliveries going on to hit the stumps. Couple just outside the off stump, but Weatherald was happy to sort of get back and play it through the offside. Those 2 deliveries just on a good length, those 3 deliveries, sorry, on a good length. That's where he's really getting back into his crease and using depth of crease.
Well, sometimes your strength can be a weakness. He's a very accurate bowler, Chris Green. In that situation, he probably needs to vary his pace a bit more. Take a bit of pace off it. They weren't bad deliveries, but they were all very similar.
Jonathan Cook to bowl his second over.
Very similar and similar field. He didn't really change his field, did he? So it was almost as if he was inviting Weatherall to keep playing through the offside, and he kept going for him. Generally towards the end of an innings, he's looking to pitch it up more in the block hole.
That's nicely played. Weatherall waited on it. He saw a small gap and pierced it beautifully. He's in good touch with his 5th boundary.
Well, it's a great shot again through the offside. You know, they're playing with fire here with no men out on the offside, the Thunder, and Weatherall's enjoying it, isn't he? Just giving himself a little bit of room and stroking it nicely.
Just feeding his strengths at the moment. I think at this stage you're probably looking to send one back, aren't you, on the offside?
So the last ball of the power play coming up. Early wickets. They have steadied the strikers. His partnership 32 from 25. Nicely played by Alex Carey. So end of the power play. The strikers lost the toss. They were sent in by Cal Ferguson. 2 for 41 from 6.
Started off beautifully for the Thunder. Daniel Sams getting the overseas international. Philip Salt. Arjun there eventually held it. Very good catch. And then we saw some good hitting from Matty Short. Then he played across a full one, premeditated. Was out LBW, plumb in front to Jonathan Cook. And then we've seen the Jake Weatherall show. 6 boundaries in his 29. So he's played beautifully, particularly through the offside. He's given himself a bit of room. And he's made, you know, decent balls into boundaries. So lovely hitting from Jake Weatherall.
Yeah, Yeah, they've brought it back well, the strikers, after losing a couple of early wickets. 41 after 6 overs, it's not bad at all. And 2 players, one that's definitely in Carey, we know what he can do. They'll be desperate for a partnership here, just to lay that platform even more, to go big at the end. Chris Tremaine into the attack.
Former Renegade, he played against them a couple of nights ago in Geelong. Was part of the championship team for the Renegades last year.
Aggressive start. Short ball first up, so he's not going to be driven through the offside. If you're going to hit a boundary, you're going to have to pull it or hook it. And he's probably lucky not to get away with a wide there. Bit of country music down here.
It was.
In the capital. Good start, hitting the pitch hard. I think they might have over-pitched a little bit so far, the Thunder, but Chris Tremaine's going to bang it in.
We mentioned the smoke around the ground. You mentioned at the start, Isha, that all our thoughts going out to everyone affected, and the wonderful job that the men and women, volunteers and professional firefighters are doing. Our thoughts go out to everyone that's affected. A lot of fires in New South Wales. I know, Mark, that you had some concerns about coming today. There's fires in your neck of the woods. It's just a really terrible situation around a lot of the country, and especially here in New South Wales at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been terrible. And those firefighters, you just can't fathom how tough those conditions are for those guys and ladies as well. So, yep, no, the fires are only 20 or 30 Ks west of my farm up on the Central Coast. So it's scary times for everybody, really.
Thunder wearing black armbands today for those that have lost their lives. A couple of young fathers tragically lost their lives in the last couple of days fighting the fires.
Yeah, volunteers they were as well.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Adds a lot of perspective, doesn't it? And yeah, absolutely feel for all those families going through it all. And there have been so many volunteers getting involved in trying to help out where they can.
Just need some rain, don't we?
Yep.
Please.
Nicely played away by Alex Carey. Yeah, I think especially in the job we do, we often mention heroes, but people out there fighting those fires at the moment fit that term very aptly. So,
my word.
Our thoughts are with you all. 2 for 44, delivery to come. Pretty good start from Tremaine.
Generally bowls quite tight to the stumps, doesn't often give that much width. Seeing that so far in the first 2 games. Towards the end of an innings, he'll go wide of the off stump and look to bowl full and in the block hole, but just when he's starting off, it's back of a length and looking middling off.
It's been a good, consistent performer, especially at first class level for Victoria the last 3 or 4 years. He's always the top of the wickets, formerly from New South Wales.
So looks like the timeout's being signalled pretty late in the over. So at this end of the over, we expect a tactical timeout. We'll bring you all the action from the middle as it happens. And they hustle through. So 2 for 45 from 7. Just briefly explain the timeout and who calls it and how it works, Mark.
Well, thanks very much.
Sorry, I thought you were across it.
Who calls it? The batting team calls it. So there it is, 1 per innings. You get 1:30 per timeout. Can occur at the conclusion of overs between 7 and 13.
A yes or a no for you?
It's a no.
Okay, Ish?
I really can't see the point of it.
Well, I'm kind of used to it, having kind of done a little bit in the IPL. It's a chance for players to take stock. I guess it's frustrating for a team who are on a bit of a roll, and the timeout gets called. You lose that momentum, but
yeah, I mean, what can you talk about? Okay, the pitch conditions, what's it like? Is it stopping a bit, swinging, a bit slow, spinning? Maybe just reassure yourself that you're going at a good rate. The coach might come out.
So what you're telling me, there's not much you can talk about?
That's from my point of view, no. I wouldn't have thought so.
Okay. So they were 2 for 8. It's been a nice partnership, this one. 37 from 32. Weatherall the start, 31 from 20. As the players leave the ground, we might actually get a chance to have a chat with Jason Gillespie. Megan Barnard is down there at the moment. Have you got us, Megsy?
Yeah, I certainly do. Jason Gillespie, what was the message to the boys out there?
It was very much, Michael Divinetto got out there quite quickly, batting coach, and it's just about saying we've got a lot of time. You know, we can catch up a little bit later. We lost a couple of early wickets. Just stay in the moment, stay in the present, and you know, just keep ticking along nicely.
What sort of total are you happy with?
Oh, anything. We're not worried about that. We just score as many runs as we possibly can.
So you heard it, anything. Good on you, Jace. Thank you. Back to you, Howie.
Thank you.
There you go. So that was very worthwhile, that timeout, wasn't it? Yeah.
6 and overs 123, 8 and overs 149, 10 and over. I think anything is 10 and over. That's 175.
Well, that's the average score.
I'm not sure he'd be too happy with them scoring about 90.
Now, Arjun Nair set to come into the attack. Talking about name pronunciations, being the professional you are, Mark,
Yes.
you went and had a word to him
did.
pre-game. He gave you an interesting answer.
He did. He said, listen, in Australia you can call me Nair. If I was in India, it'd be Naya. So he said, call me Nair out here, please.
Oh, right, okay. I said Naya earlier. Whoops.
We're in Canberra.
Well, you're not wrong, actually, but as we're in Canberra...
You're a touch more international than Mark and I,
Yeah,
actually,
you are,
let's
yeah.
be honest. So, Nair to Weatherall.
So Nair with a bit of flair.
That's it.
He's a good young cricketer.
The interesting bowler, he's got that one that he flicks out, Mark, doesn't he? He's got a few nice variations.
He does, yeah. He's very accurate too, actually. He doesn't give the ball a lot of air. He sort of bowls it into the pitch. Very confident young guy. He bats pretty well. Had a few issues with his action. Was it last season or the season before? 2 seasons.
Comes in a bit like a... There you go, there's the flick.
There you go. What's that? That's the Ravi Ashram delivery.
Carom ball.
Yep.
A little flick through. Like playing carom.
He comes in like he's in the dressage as a horse. Gets that front leg up and really, if you watch the next delivery, he hides the ball, doesn't he? So it's very difficult to tell what he's doing. Tell us about the carom ball, Ish.
Big game. Played in Calcutta. Played all around India, but I played it quite a lot with my dad when I was younger. It's effectively like pool, but with draft pieces, and you're using your middle finger and your thumb to flick the draft piece to hit another draft piece to put it in the pocket.
Right.
So that's exactly what's happening here. It's very difficult to do with a cricket ball in your hand. You've got to have incredible control.
I was going to say, I imagine that'd be very, very difficult to control anything. You know, you've got to have strong fingers.
Great explanation, Ish.
Yeah, I didn't know much about that, but thank you, Ish. Yeah.
Fun game.
He covers it up so you can't see what's coming. A bit of width. Punch straight down the ground. Immediately the call at 2. They have to be sharpish. No 2 there.
Well, Narayan from the West Indies, he bowls that very well, that delivery as well.
Especially on those flat, low Caribbean pitches. Three from the over so far. Good start by Arjun. Took a great catch to get rid of Salt in the first over. Some protection back deep fine. Nice arm out there. Ooh, gets straight through. Jukes. Backed up though. 5 from the over. 2 for 50 the strikers. Shows you the various bowlers, and you can see there, Ish, it's been tough for the spinners.
Yeah, it's been a real mixed bag for the spinners. I don't know, with a good over that last one, but Cook and Green suffering in the power play, more at the hands of Jake Weatherall. But just as they did against the Renegades, the Thunder, they're pulling things back outside of the power play after those initial 2 wickets.
So Green went for 3 boundaries in a row to Weatherall in his first over. Hard-working cricketer, though. I imagine he'll come up with an answer.
Slightly easier outside the power play. You can only have those 2 out, so you're constantly trying to position them in the right place. Play games with the batsman as well. Say, go on, hit me there then. And that's exactly what he did. But he's got 5 out now, and we'll have a little bit more control of the situation. Chris Green.
Hatless, Jake
Glenn Maxwell, so
Wasn't it fantastic to see Glenn Maxwell back playing at a high level, and the performance he put in the other night against that heat? Oh, absolutely brilliant.
There was one shot that went over extra cover for 6, and it was clean as a whistle.
He couldn't bowl him the other night. He just smoked everything.
Gee, that's a confident shot. Beats the field and will find its way to the boundary. That's a wonderful cricket shot.
He's been playing that shot without success so far. He's hit it to the field and he's missed it a couple of times, but this time he finds the gap.
And this is why he's so dangerous, especially in these middle overs. You've got 5 fielders out. He goes for it. It's a shot he likes to play. He's confident in playing it. He picks up the 4. Just has to think now again, Chris Green, about how he wants his field position. Now that deep cover. Well, I thought he was going to move, but actually it's that backward point who's just moved slightly more to the left.
The other bloke that impressed in that game in the heat was your man out of the UK, Banton, Isha.
Oh, how good.
Get him into England colours. Michael Vaughan said he sees some similarities to Kevin Peterson, which is a massive rap.
Just the way he plays those leg side shots, and all the timing in the world as well. Quite tall, plays down at Somerset, and I think actually this year spending a lot of time with Babar Azam in the T20s I think was good for him, opening the batting with him. They had a lot of really good partnerships together. Okay, it's a flat deck at Taunton, but I think he enjoyed that experience.
When's he playing for England as Weatherall's on strike?
Well, part of the T20 side and starting to get some opportunities now. So I expect he'll definitely be in the running for the T20 next year.
Amazing ball striker. Even the first game, he only got 16 or 18, but he hit every ball in the middle.
Great opportunity, too, to play on the Australian grounds before next year's T20 World Cup. Don't know how we let that happen. It's worked away on the... Oh, I guess you did with Marnus, didn't you? Got Marnus into form, and he hasn't stopped making runs. End of the over. 8 from it, 2 from 58. There is the 50 partnership between these two off 44 ball. And this is Glenn Maxwell. It was extraordinary. 83 from 39. It made me smile to see him back out there and going so well, Mark.
Oh, amazing. I've never been to that ground, but it's a decent size, isn't it? They were hitting him up into the second tiers.
Metricon, yep.
Maxwell and Banton, but just his power, he really backed himself. They didn't know where to bowl to Glenn Maxwell. He'd hit it over square leg, then he'd hit over cover, then he'd hit it straight over their heads. It was Glenn Maxwell at his pure best, and when he's like that, he's no one better than him.
Yeah, now to Carey. Had a tough, sorry, Ish.
I was just about to say, we help each other out, Howie, the English and the Aussies. Marnus Labuschagne with that time at Glamorgan, 2nd Division cricket. He scored 5 centuries straight into the side after Steve Smith that was struck on the neck. Thankfully he was okay, but comes in and does the job.
And you know what we've learned from you, Isha. I'll get to that in a moment. Weatherall is how to pinch South Africans and get them to play for your country, because England were expert at it for a long time, and we used to shake our heads and say, is there any Englishmen or Englishwomen playing for England? But now Michael Nessa grew up in that part of the world, and obviously Marnus Labuschagne. Kepler Wessels was here early, wasn't he?
Yeah, we pinched Kepler, but I mean, it's been going on for 30 years. I mean, I played county cricket. All the Aussies play county cricket. It's a great learning curve playing over there. Shot for 1.
Makes it tough for the South Africans, though, as they're losing talent at a rate of knots.
Yeah, Kyle Abbott.
Riley Rousseau.
He gave up, didn't he, playing for South Africa to play county cricket, play for Hampshire?
Yep. Riley Rousseau.
Who was the other one?
Riley 170 mark.
Well, 10 and over is 166. I think that's achievable.
Sam's back into the attack. Got the opening wicket with a wicket maiden when he knocked over Salt. Now to Weatherall. And again, bowling really nicely. Alex Hales is out in the middle. Alex, we're just talking about the state of the game. You still feel like you got your nose in front at this stage? The 2 early wickets, but this is a good partnership.
Yeah, I think so. Just about at the moment. It's been a great start. I think it's a good pitch and a fast outfield. So if we can break this partnership, I reckon we're ahead of the game, yeah.
Alex Hales on the Toyota. Mike, who's impressed you since you've joined the squad, Alex?
Arjun, I think Arjun's been brilliant. I think he's been our leading wicket taker so far. He's been outstanding. I think we've just got a pretty well-oiled team. Good spinners in the middle, and Samsy can hit them well at the end as well. And Chris Morris is a great addition. So I think we're really well balanced in all areas.
You mentioned Arjun. We were having a look at his carom ball, as Isha described it to us, the one he flicks out. How do you go about playing that in the nets?
I've only faced him once so far because we've had a few games back-to-back. We haven't done a great deal of training, but he was difficult to pick, especially under the lights at the Gabba. Yeah, very difficult to pick bright talent.
Alex, if you were batting first on this deck, what would you want?
It's difficult. It's looked really good. I mean, Jake played some great shots off greenie on the up through the offside. I think par here is usually around 170, 180. So if we're batting first, that's definitely what we're looking for, probably around 180.
Sams continues in a good vein of form.
Mate, how's the weather out there? Is it cool off at all? It's still very sticky out there.
It's still pretty hot. Yeah, it's a bit of a hot wind as well. It's like, yeah, he's sucking it in at the moment. Yeah, it's still warm.
Is this your first time in Canberra? First time you played here?
I've been here a couple of times. I think we had a few warm-up games here maybe before 2015 World Cup. Okay. So, great cricket ground, a good pitch. So I'm looking forward to getting out there and having a bat.
What's on for Christmas, Alex? Down under, nice.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I've had a couple here before actually. So my brother's coming out. He lands tomorrow. So we've got a few days off. So just chill out with him. I think down at Bondi.
Are you cooking the turkey or? No.
I'm pretty sure we'll be going out for food. I'm not
I'd say so.
I've got no chance of doing that. I don't want to give everyone food poisoning.
All right, your next game's not to the 28th, so we'll speak to you throughout the night. We appreciate it.
Cheers, thanks.
Can you cook a turkey, Howie?
No, I can't cook anything, Mark, unless my family's after peanut
barbecue.
Peanut butter toast.
You've never done a turkey?
No. You've got to know your limitations in life, Isha.
It's a very fine line between a good turkey and a bad one.
You'd know.
I'm sitting with a turkey.
Over pitch. No, it's not. It's straight through him. It was a slow one from Sams. Tricked everyone, me included. And it's a big wicket of Weatherall.
Well, it came out so slow, didn't he? Again, just drops the pace right off. But he's been using the slow balls to good effect since he's come back in. And he gets a big wicket here. Weatherall was looking very good and dangerous out in the middle. Excellent bowling, slightly fuller as well. Deception of coming through the shot. He feels it's going to come down the same pace. And just rolls his fingers on it. Brilliant bowling.
That is a super slow ball from Daniel Sams. That quick arm action deceived Jake Weatherall, who looked in great touch. He's out for 42. Big wicket for the Thunder, 3 for 68.
Really did drop late, that ball, didn't it? My immediate thought was it's going to be a knee-high full toss and it's going over backward square. Maybe Weatherall was the same.
Yeah, you got a lot on it, so quick arm speed, and that gets the drop on it. And great deception. Looks set for a big score, Jake Weatherall. Here's the old Mako scoreboard. The Adelaide Strikers, they lost 2 early wickets, and Matty Short went very early on, and that's a good partnership between Carey and Weatherall's just come to an end. John Wells comes to the crease. No, Rashid Khan. But John Wells is a good player in his own right. Works the ball nicely. Really good off the back foot. He likes the cut shot and the pull shot.
He was the leading run scorer last year. Average 44, striking at 125. So good year in Big Bash. 8. Sams continues that. 2.5 overs, so 17 deliveries, 12 dots, 2 for 8.
I've had a shocker, boys. Just taken him out of my Supercoach team, Daniel Sams.
No. Well done, Coach Isha. 3 for 69 from 11. Isha, we might get to Megan Barnard on the boundary. You down there, Megan?
Certainly am. Jake Weatherall, a very handy knock from you, but he caught you off guard a bit, didn't he, Daniel Sams?
Yeah, probably should have done a bit more research, I reckon. Doesn't bowl that very often, so.
What were the conversations out there between you and your skipper when you had to steady the ship at what, 2 for 8?
Yeah, Kez doesn't actually say very much, so it's pretty hard to get a word out of him. So I just sort of went with what I thought was the best, and yeah.
Was he pretty quiet out there?
Yeah, he only says one word. I think he's got other things to think about.
Right, fair enough. What were you thinking about out there?
Oh, just keeping the scoreboard ticking over as much as possible. Still out looking for the boundaries. It's a good wicket, so we've got to take the half decent total. So you've got to still look for the boundaries, and I'll probably try to go a bit too square there. So probably do my doing, but at the same time, we've got to risk it a bit.
What would be a good total? Your coach said anything, but what do you reckon?
Yeah, with our bowling attacks, I reckon anything over 160 we can defend. I think they've not the strongest batting order in the comp, so if we can get over 160, but a bit run rate pressure on them, I reckon we can do all right.
All right, best of luck.
Thank you. Cheers.
Thank you to Megan and Jake. Cook looks to come back into the attack. It's fascinating when he says I should have done some more research. He doesn't bowl that ball that often. The modern cricketer, June, you need to know everything.
Well, I can't work that out because that's one of his stock deliveries. The slow ball.
According to Jake. Jonathan Cook now to Wells.
Very strange conversation, that one.
You're not happy about him saying Thunder don't have a great batting?
No, I think that's put the governor a bit aside.
Yeah, he said that too, didn't he?
He did.
I think they got probably the best 3 in the competition, but actually the Strikers do have a pretty aggressive bowling attack. They do have some weapons. Yeah,
Siddle, Khan.
Yeah, no, they got a good bowling attack.
They struggled a bit more last year, though. When you think about their winning year, the year before, 3 of their bowlers in the top 10 wicket takers. 3 of their batters in the top 10 run scorers. So, and then last year, just Rashid Khan in the top 10. He's super consistent, but just didn't really get that support from everyone else consistently.
No, they didn't string together a full game last year. The Strikers are good in certain periods, but couldn't get it all together. I look for 2 there. He's very quick, Alex Carey. Doesn't talk much, but he's quick between wickets.
Typically haven't lost much to international players either, but...
Oh, you didn't get that, Howie.
I got it. I just didn't think it was funny. But then Travis, obviously now in the test side, he leaves a big hole in this team as well, doesn't he? Which you should fancy the Melbourne Stars with Stoinis and Maxwell available. They only lose Pete Hanscom in that tour to India. Look, a good team. Oh, straight through everyone.
Well, I reckon it's so open. I couldn't even pick a favourite, even at this stage. I think that's the great thing about the BBL. Any team can win it. Even your Hurricanes, Howie.
Started nicely yesterday in Alice Springs, the Canes.
I was going to say, the good thing about the Thunder is they started well and they won away from home, 2 games away from home.
Yeah.
And we know how good they are at home at the Spotless because they've got those 3 spinners. They've got their game plans perfectly in terms of how they want to play and the batters to do it as well. So that'll give them loads of confidence to start as well as they have.
Wouldn't have thought the heat would be 0-2 at this stage of the tournament either.
Yeah.
No, they've got plenty of strike with the bat, but their bowling's a bit suspect. They haven't batted very well, strangely enough.
Single to finish the over. Pretty good one from Cook. He's got some time to work his way back into the game. Just 3 from that one, 3 for 72 from 12. Let's have a look at the wickets to fall so far with Mark Raw.
Yeah, first one was Philip Salt, the English international, in the first over. Top edge to high one. Arjun there finally got underneath it and took a super catch. And Matt Short looking to go square, premeditated, a very full straight ball. That was hitting middle stump halfway up. And Jake Weatherall played really well for his 40-odd, then got cleaned up by a tremendous slow ball from Daniel Sams.
Adelaide Strikers, there's a Manhattan, courtesy.
Brought it right back after the power play. Now those first 2 wickets and that partnership between Weatherall and Carey just got them back in the balance, but just brought it back.
Edged from Wells, might have been an under edge. Dukes dived, was never going to get a hand on it. Bit of fortune the Strikers need, I think, to get going.
Right off the toe, I think, Howie. Yeah, a bit of fortune. He gave himself room. John Wells, and he looked to go over cover, but doesn't matter how you get him, but I think it was right off the toe. And a bit of a top edge, and Matthew Dukes diving, but couldn't rein it in.
Chris Morris, his natural angle is to come into the right-hander. So anything just outside the off stump.
You would have seen a lot of him in the IPL, Isha, with your wonderful commentary duties over there. pretty attacking player with bat and ball.
Yeah, with the bat, you'll see him generally try and launch it. He's tried to get his team out of difficult situations by just going big with the bat, and with the ball, just someone who runs in. He runs in hard length. At the death as well. When he gets his Yorkers right, he is very difficult to face because he comes from such a high angle.
Smoke around the Canberra environs. Not as bad as the last couple of days, apparently, which is good. Straight back to the bowler.
The ball well fielded.
Plenty of cricket coming to Australia next year, both the men's and women's version.
Ooh, cannot wait for that.
Come on, the Aussies.
T20
Get
World
the double.
T20worldcup.com. Isha, I know you're involved in calling the Women's World Cup. I presume we'll be at the men's as well, but geez, some good cricket coming to these shores.
Yep.
You tip for the women, the final?
Oh, well,
Australia v whoever?
Yeah, okay, yeah. Australia will definitely, if they play their best cricket, they'll be in the final. India looking good. Never write off England, New Zealand. Had a couple of players over here in the Women's Big Bash who've done pretty well. West Indies, never write them off.
You're keeping it pretty open. That's 3/4 of the field. You picked 18 attempts in a 20-race horse field there, Ish.
Only left Bangladesh out.
We did notice, Mark, with the Pakistanis and Sri Lankans out here, it's a different game to the subcontinental T20 arenas, and it's such bigger grounds here. So many players getting caught out near the fence as Carey's on strike. So it'd be interesting to see a very short ball caught a wide by square leg, how the subcontinent teams go here.
Well, I think India, they're pretty used to it. They'll play well. Yeah, we saw Pakistan and Sri Lanka struggled, so I don't see that really changing. But once again, it's pretty open, isn't it, the men's? England will be hard to beat. A lot of their young batting tyros up the top there, they can have a lot of strike power, and guys like Owen Morgan, experienced players, so wouldn't write off Australia or England in either final, men's and women's. That's good running. Sloppy work from the Thunder, no one backing up. Someone should have been there. Won't be happy with that, Callum Ferguson. Not that he gets too animated, Callum. I think it's one of his best traits, actually. He looks so calm under pressure as a captain. Actually, he threw it, so I suppose he probably shouldn't have thrown it.
He can't give himself a break.
Well, he sort of did. Idiot.
Actually, he threw it. 10 from the over, one come. Carey playing within himself so far. He whips it away to the leg side. There was a shout of catch it. Hales tried to get a hand to it, couldn't stop the boundary. So 14 from the over, a good one for the men in blue. 3 for 86 from 13. Carey 28 from 30.
Yeah, he was slow early. I think he's 4 off his first 10, and he hasn't really timed the ball that well, but now he's starting to accelerate. So that was a costly overthrow because it got Carey back on strike and he hit a 4. It's just a little swing in the game.
Are you upset with me, June?
What's that?
After I said $1 million, you'd go for $1 million.
That's all right, I know you're only joking.
Cam White padded up to come in next to Isha. I think that's one of the greatest undersells of a man that could bat, bowl and field. In his heyday, if Mark Ward didn't get 2.2 to 2.5,
Howie, you're embarrassing me
I'd be
now.
very surprised.
Spoken about
There are a lot of amazing players that go for $1 million.
I just think he's a very similar type of player to Glenn Maxwell.
I just got my maths a bit wrong.
He can bat, bowl and field. He's a 2.5 man.
He is. He's definitely a 2 mil. If Ben Stokes is going for 2 mil.
Cameron White, I tell you what, he earned a good quid in the IPL, just quietly.
He did. We did have this discussion off air, Isha. I was asking him as we were getting ready.
All right, that's enough. Move on.
He was throwing in your 3-point pluses. Was M Moore. He's along the lines. If Pete Cummins gets that M Moore.
Mucking around, Howie.
There's more 4. Sort of the territory of the great Indians. What he was throwing to the table.
Now you're being silly, Howie. That's right, we get that commentating with Fox, don't we?
Oh, yeah. No, they were Virat Kohli numbers that he was throwing around, Ish.
Idiot.
But you were just too early, June.
That's all right. Made a decent quid, Howie. Can't complain. Still a little jealous, but no.
Predict visit 150, which I don't think it'd be quite enough. Under par, nice work there. By Usman Khawaja.
Was he?
Who you said in the pre-game that you thought would lead the run scorers, be
Yes.
the yellow hat wearer.
Yep, actually, David Warner asked me that in commentary the other night at the SCG, and I said Khawaja, maybe Sean Marsh. But yeah, I think Uzi be hard to beat.
Carey throws his wrist out. He did a really nice job, David Warner.
He did, didn't he? Yeah.
He was fantastic. He'll be featuring in the Boxing Day test. Weather looks good in Melbourne too.
I know what the pitch will be like.
It'll be fine. More advances and didn't quite get to the pitch of it. I noticed some comments today from the pitch guru Les Burdett.
He said it looked tremendous, didn't he?
Fantastic.
Perfect.
Yep. Bit in it for the bowlers. Good news.
Not too much in it.
No, just a bit each. They'll get
Just
it right.
You
now,
need a bit.
CG.
Need a bit.
Just a
Otherwise, it could be a draw. So Trent Bolt looks like he'll be back for the Kiwis. So that'll be a great addition for them. Bit more bite with the ball.
Lots of Kiwis coming over, which will be fantastic. Bit of width, call of 2. They might get more than that. Goes like a tracer bullet. Wells underestimated his own shot. Ross couldn't get it. And another boundary off the last ball of the over. 3 for 94 for 14. We mentioned the numbers floating around in the Indian Premier League. We'll have a look at those in a moment. The second boundary for Wells. He's 14 from 10, continuing on his good form from last year's Big Bash. And there are some of the numbers. Paddy Cummins, 3.16. Maxwell, 2.2. Morris, who's out there tonight, 2. Cottrell, the man with the great salute, 1.7. Nathan Khulna, 1.6. Chawala, Curran, Morgan, Stoinis at 980, rejoining Ricky Ponting's team there.
I think Kane Richardson was about 850 as well, wasn't he?
Good money for Kane Richardson.
Very good money.
Nathan Khulna, 1.6. That's a good payday.
That's really good. Chris Lynn was about 400, wasn't he? He was.
Yep.
Yeah, went to the Mumbai Indians.
He's probably not a bad buy actually at 400. If he gets it right, he's pretty dangerous, isn't he?
Yeah, I think we mentioned Chris Green had got his first deal. That was more than 40,000, but absolutely pumped Chris to get the opportunity to go over there. Straight down the ground from Carey.
Any other Aussies? Finchy?
Finch
He
was
on there, wasn't he?
at about
No, he
900,000.
just missed that top.
Finch has gone to RCB, isn't he?
Yep, for about 900, I think.
With Vera.
The great man went. There's more pages coming,
Oh,
apparently.
sorry. Okay, we'll sort the one page. We're like a yearling sale. Some of the prices there.
Again, the call of 2 from Alex Carey.
Not 2 in that.
No, no way there's 2 in that. So we mentioned Aaron Finch. Kane Richardson, Alex
There we go.
Carey, 491. Lynn, Mitch Marsh.
Josh Hazelwood, 408. That's
So Josh gets 408 and his bowling partner Paddy gets 3.2. AJ Ty will be back from injury, which is good. And what an opportunity that'll be for Josh Philippi
yeah.
to join Bangalore.
Green, yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, he's cheap. Josh Philippi.
Be good if we could see him get a game or 2, Isha. You control that tournament over there. Can you get him to have a run?
Well, the problem is the number of overseas players you can have in the.
So you can have 8 in each squad, is it?
I think
Or
4 in a team.
4 in a game, but
Yeah,
I think
4 in a
you're
team. I
allowed
don't know if it's
8
8 in a squad, but it's the getting the 4 in the game is the thing.
Well, there's often really good players left out. I think Ricky Ponting got left out when he was playing. Mumbai. And Ricky Ponting left Glenn Maxwell out of the Delhi Daredevils quite a few times.
Do you think we should have more internationals in the Big Bash?
More international in the Big Bash.
You can have 2
Yes,
per side.
yes, I think we should, but it's more of a monetary problem, I guess. Restrictions. Yeah, I'd like to see it.
Ish? It's 4 in the IPL. What are they bringing into the 100? Do you know? Question without notice.
That is,
Putting you on the
yeah,
spot.
that is.
It'd be more than 2, I would have
I'm
thought.
pretty sure it's 2.
Is it? Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's 2. Might be 3.
Yeah, 3 sounds like a good
Yeah, I
number.
think it might be 3.
As long as they're quality. We'll help
Absolutely.
the English players develop their game too.
Jermaine doing a good job. 1.3 overs, 3 dots, none for 7.
100 though. The very first person sold in the auction went to the Trent Rockets. Who do you think it was?
In the 100. Is it overseas or local?
Overseas.
Jay Russ would have been up there. Maxwell was up there.
Someone playing today.
Hang on.
I don't like these pop quizzes, Ish.
Well,
Because they look very silly.
there's a lot of questions today without notice. Struggling. Rashid Khan.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well done.
Well done, June. That's a clever shot from Alex Carey. As we said, he's played within himself, but he'll know that it's time to start to get things going. 37 from 36, just his third boundary.
That's a very, very good shot. Chris Tremaine, that was not far off being a really good Yorker. Let's have a look at it from round the wicket. And that's a top shot. Those fine legs up, but you still got to get the right bat angle onto the ball. Touch of class.
Jack Fingleton scoreboard still in fine nick here. It's been moved up to Canberra quite some time ago. Carey drops it short of the field, so he's just chipping it round at the moment. 9 from it, 3 for 103. Two for 8, they were early doors. They set themselves a platform, 5 to go, 10 and over, they get to 153. Ishap, I was tales about what he was doing as a visitor to our shores for Christmas. What does Christmas entail for Isha Gua?
Well, for a second year running, we are being hosted by the lovely Melanie Jones.
Are you now?
In Melbourne.
Does she cook up a Christmas feast?
She does.
Or now she's a board member, does someone come and do it for her? Carey advances. Can he clear the field? Yes, he can. First 6 for Alex Carey.
He's heart in his mouth for a long time there, Alex Carey. Hit it flat, probably wanted to get it a bit higher, but hit it well enough.
Yeah, just starting to rev up the engine, moving through the gears here, Alex Carey. This is where he becomes really difficult to bowl to. He's so good straight, so good against the spinners. He can pick off that ramp shot as well with a short fine and short third to the quick bowlers.
What's Mel Jones' specialty?
What did she do last year?
Seafood?
Crumbed barramundi with a bit of
Crumbed
parmesan.
barramundi.
It was very nice.
Wow.
It's an unusual Chrissy dish.
Loved it, Mel.
Good work.
Nice prawns.
Okay, so
Charred,
it was a seafood
barbecue prawns.
operation.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Bit of ham.
I'm expecting big things again, Mel.
No pressure, Jonesy.
Gonna have to hurry, and I'll get home. It's a good arm.
Is your husband joining you, or is he
He is.
still...
He arrives Christmas Eve.
Okay. For those that don't know, Isha's married to a very successful rock star. Quite the musician he is. No?
Yes.
Quite the musician.
So you're asking a lot of questions tonight.
Like to find out what everyone's doing for Christmas.
What are you doing for Christmas?
I'm home, very low key. Cook to Wells.
We know you're not cooking.
That's correct.
That's 6.
And neither's Cook at the moment, because that's gone over the rope.
No, he's not cooking with gas anyway. It's right in the slot. John O'Wells is really good at the sweep shots and the pull shots. At time the slog sweep. He punches above his weight, Wells. You know, he's a really good player. 23 off 14, so he's got the momentum really happening here. This partnership's 50 off 30. It's a half volley, isn't it? But good shot.
$15 from the over, 2 to come. This is the over that the strikers needed to start really punching up toward that 160 total. And that'll be more runs. Cut away. And come back for 2. Look at that last 6 from Wells. Oh, he thought he was going to get a snaffle, that bloke. He thought he was getting a catch for Christmas. Nuts.
Nicely positioned, wasn't he?
Yeah, don't worry, mate. You're on telly. Give us the thumbs up. It's the best over of the innings from the Strikers. 18 from it, 3 for 121, 4 to go.
Well, 10 and over gets them to 161. I think they can get there.
What do you think par is?
Yeah, about 160. Yep. I think if you get 160, you're always in the game.
Runs on the board.
Yep. Good bowling attack.
Well, we saw the Thunder chase down the Renegades decent total the other night. They looked to be in a bit of bother, and then Hales just exploded and got them there, didn't he?
Well, the Renegades didn't help themselves. Some pretty ordinary fielding. And bowling at the back end of that game. Well done to the Thunder, of course.
Look at Rashid.
There he is.
Primed.
He looks focused.
Primed and ready to go.
He looked like a man on a mission. Let him loose.
It's like a racing car driver ready to go.
He does. He did say, I think you were chatting with him in the pre-games, he's saying he likes the last 5 overs to get in there and have a hit.
Yeah, strike rate of what, 170 last
172,
year?
I think.
Yeah,
Get the helicopter going.
Clean striker.
Got some weird shots.
Yeah, he does.
Some tennis shots and then the helicopter whip.
Morris back into the attack to Wells. Gee, that's well bowled. Morris asked the question.
Going down, I think, just his natural angle.
He's giving him a run, Blocker Wilson.
Oh, right. There you go. Yeah, this is where he comes into his own, Chris Morris, towards the end. If he gets that Yorker right, very difficult to get that out in anywhere, really.
I don't think he hit it, but it was missing leg. Going for none for 18. He's actually bowled better than that, Morris. 2.1 overs.
Yeah, Wells got one past the keeper
Edge,
off the outside
wasn't
edge, didn't he, for a boundary. Tall chap in the warm-up.
He's a big lad.
Very big boy.
That's 6'6".
Yeah, he would be. Some big shoes on him too.
Don't go there.
Okay. Carey goes high. Looks like it's green underneath it. Takes the catch. Big wicket. And a big time of the match. Morris breaks through. Carey's done for 45. And the Strikers lose their 4th wicket.
Yeah, good catch. Your man, Chris Green, went high. Alex Carey knew he had to put the foot down. And he couldn't quite middle it. Hit the deck hard there. Chris Morris went a long way in the air. Big boundary straight down the ground. He doesn't drop too many. Chris Green, I think he might have dropped one in his whole career. Took that one nicely. And that might well bring Rashid Khan into the crease. But good innings by Alex Carey. Out for 45, 4 for 122.